Hi guys, Daniela from Vanity Makeup Lashes. Good to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing Sal's makeup and we're going to just do a very basic, flawless finish on your base. So a lot of you ask me all the time how to get the perfect base, and this is just a quick way of showing you my techniques and my tricks and some of my favorite products. I'll also be doing a little bit of highlighting and contouring on Sal, just some basic steps for you to be able to do every day at home. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to be prepping Sal's face with my favorite product. It's Napoleon Curtis Autopilot Skin Renewal Serum. It's packed with antioxidants and minerals, which are great for the skin, and it just gives the skin a really nice, soft, silky base. And it just sort of helps protect the skin as well from any external environmental aggressors, which we all want.
Smells delicious.
It does smell delicious. It's full of pepperberry, ryeberry, a whole heap of Australian berries, and a lot of other beautiful high quality ingredients that Napoleon's famous for. So it's very good for the skin. Great for anti-aging as well. Next, I'm going to grab a moisturizer that I'm going to put on Sal. This is a great one. Some people like using this, some people don't. I personally do. It's a Napoleon Curtis Radiance Boosting Mask. I use it as a moisturizer rather than a mask at night, especially in this time of the year when it's cold and winter. Our skins get a little bit dry. So, Sal, smell that. Yeah,
beautiful,
divine. So I'm going to be putting a little bit of this on Sal's skin, just to help give a little bit of that smooth complexion and also that hydration that we really need. Now I'm using one of these brushes. It's a S23 from Napoleon Curtis. As you can see, it's got two different color bristles. There's a white and a black, and they're both at different lengths, so they help really infuse the skin with the product and give a beautiful sort of soft finish rather than a harsh stroke line that some of the other brushes give. So, and I'm just really prepping that skin, infusing it in there. That just feels really velvety soft. So that takes a couple of seconds to infuse into the skin, but at least I know that my client's skin is going to be really hydrated, which is the key factor when you want perfect complexion. If your skin is dry in any way, your makeup won't hold. It will actually just crack, and you'll be able to notice disparities on the skin. So really important that we have hydrated skin. Next, I'm going to pop a little bit of primer. Now, this is an old bottle. Napoleon's primer now comes in gold. This is just very old, but it's still fine and safe to use. Primer is super, super important when it comes to the flawless base. Without your primer, your makeup won't last as long, it won't hold as long, and you're really not giving the skin that flawless finish that we so want when we're applying our foundation. So not to prime is a crime, so Napoleon says. And so I'm just going to put that all over Sal's complexion. Primer is also really great at protecting the skin from environmental aggressors, so pollution, the sun, all sorts of other things that we don't want in our skin. It puts a protective barrier on our skin, so it'll keep our skincare working while keeping our makeup on the surface of the primer, so it won't be penetrating into the skin surface. So that's Sal all prepped and ready to go. Now we go to the fun part, the makeup element, the color stuff, as I say. So now I'm going to be looking at a foundation that's suitable for Sal's skin. I have a few to choose from here. I'm just not quite sure which ones I'm going to want for Sal. I've got some gorgeous cosmetics. There's a Sheer Brilliance liquid foundation. I also have Napoleon Curtis Stroke of Genius. Now, one is more of a liquid style foundation, one is more of a cream. I'm not sure what complexion Sal's going to be, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a test patch. We'll start off with these. So I've got the 1B from Gorgeous Cosmetics, and judging by the colour of that, it's a little bit fair for Sal. So I definitely think I need to up the colour on that. I've got a 1Y, which is a more yellow base, and I think Sal is more of a yellow base. And that's a little bit more Sal's colouring. So let's give that a try. I might actually grab a different foundation brush. So this one here, I have got a G18, which is more of my foundation brush, and I'm just going to test it out on Sal's skin a little bit. Now don't be afraid, if you get it wrong, it comes off, it's just makeup, it's not permanent. Everyone's always so afraid to try things on and to do things with makeup, and I always tell everybody, it does come off. You hope it comes off. Okay, so just by looking at that, I can already tell that that colouring is a little bit too fair on Sal compared to the other side of her. So I still need to warm that up just a little bit. The overall look of it is quite nice. It's still a nice sort of pinky undertone with a little bit of warmth, but it's not quite right. So I'm actually going to go in and grab a little bit of my Stroke of Genius in a look 2. And I'm just going to take that very lightly all over her skin. I'm sure we'll fast forward this.
I like the sound effects.
Okay, so now I'm just going to buff that in with the brush I had before. Great thing about these brushes is that you can use it for almost all of your liquid products. So your primer, your moisturizer, your serum and your foundation. So I'm just using that same brush that I was using before and just buffing that into the skin to make sure there's no sharp lines or any sort of brush strokes on the skin. Now that I've done that, excuse me Sal, just 1 minute. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to let that sit on the skin for a couple of seconds. Makeup does take a couple of seconds for it to settle, so you don't want to rush through your makeup process. If you've got the time, take your time, because the product is an external thing on our skin. We need to let it adjust and warm into our skin. The warmth of our skin itself will actually help the product to soften and to mold and to gradually take on its colour. So we'll just let that settle for a couple of seconds. And while that's happening, we're going to do Sal's eyebrows. So I am going to grab my eyebrow pencil. So I've got a BR2, it's just a mascara wand or an eyebrow brush, whichever one you like to call it. And I'm also using, this brush here doesn't actually have any name on it. I can't remember where I bought this from, but it's basically just an angled brush. So it's perfect for doing gel eyeliners. It's also perfect for doing your eyebrows. And I'm just going to give Sal's brows a little bit of a brush just into its place. And I'm going to choose between, I've got two different products. I've got one that's more of a softer brown, or I've got a darker brown, but in a matte colour. It's really important when you're doing your brows that you use a matte product rather than a shimmery eyeshadow. Otherwise, Sal's going to have shimmer glitter all over her eyebrows, and that doesn't look realistic, really. So I'm going to load my brush a little bit with product and take off any excess. And I'm just going to follow Sal's natural eyebrow line. Now, what I can see in Sal's eyebrows here is that she has got a bit of an arch here in the middle, and then the brow starts to come down. But I think that that arch is probably a little bit too centered. So I'm going to fill it just slightly, just to thicken up Sal's brows a little bit more. And so very carefully, I'm going to grab my brush loaded with my product, and I'm going to feather it over the top of her brow hairs. Now what I'm doing at the same time is just very carefully just bringing that product slightly underneath that arch, just to fill it in just slightly. And that just deepens her brows just that little bit extra. So it gives it a little bit more shape to her face and frames her face a little bit more. So I'll do the other side. Just check for symmetry. Now usually I would have a mirror that my client would be sitting in front of, so I could check from behind, but given that the salon doesn't really have that here, you guys can be my mirror and you can let me know how you think we're going. How are you going, Sal?
Good.
Good. Alright, so as we can see now that I've let the product settle for a little bit, the foundation started to soften a little bit more. It's not quite as harsh, and it started to blend a little bit more. So now I want us to get into our highlighting and our contouring. And before I actually set Sal's makeup with powder, I'm going to do her contouring. So I'm going to use it's a Camera Finish N4. I think the N4 is probably dark enough for Sal. There is my personal favourite, which is the N5, but that's probably a little bit too dark for her. So we'll start off with the N4, and if need be, we can always up it to the N5. Remember, you want it to be 3 to 4 shades darker than your normal skin tone, so that you can see the difference and the contrast. Now Sal, turn your head to the side. So to contour, and there are a lot of different areas on the face you can contour. I'm just going to teach you the ones that you're going to use every day. Is our cheekbones. That's probably the most important. We all want to look like supermodels and have those gorgeous high cheekbones. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. If I was to grab my brush and tip at the top of the ears and angle it down towards the corner of the mouth, that is basically the direction that I want my brush strokes to go towards. If I was to feel right there, that is where Sal's cheekbones are. Whether you can see them or not, trust me, you all have them there. And practice that. Feel your cheekbones underneath that brush. They're all there. But basically, I want to draw a line going in that direction from the tip of her ear down towards the corner of her mouth, and probably not taking it anywhere past the corner of the eye. Okay, so it's really important we do this with soft brush strokes, nothing too harsh, needs to be quite blended, and I think that's probably a dark enough colour for Sal. Now can you guys see that? It's just subtle. I'll probably put a little bit more on just so you guys can actually definitely see it. Okay. So just quickly doing the other side. Okay. The only other areas that you really want to focus on a day-to-day basis is probably just a little bit through the forehead, just through here, almost as if you're drawing a 3. And it's only very subtle, just very, very quick. And just the sides of the nose, if you want to add a little bit of length to your nose, or if you've got a bit of a wide nose and you just want to lengthen it, just a little bit side on the sides. And that is your contouring. The next step would be your highlighting. So highlighting, you can use various products. I'm going to use, actually, sorry David. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Okay, so highlighting. A lot of products you can use. You can use eyeshadows, anything that's got a bit of a shimmer through it. I'm actually going to use a really soft, pretty pink highlighter. It's just got a really nice shimmery pigment to it. Just take it above where we did our contouring, along the eye area, down the bridge of the nose, down to the lips, and down to the chin. So anywhere that the light hits our face, imagine if we're outside and the sunlight's hitting us, you just want to radiate those areas. So above the eyes, get rid of the crow's feet and any fine lines and wrinkles, and just softly through the nose and to the mouth. So nice and simple. And now I'm going to powder Sal. So Sal's actually going to get powder all over. Oh, Sal, it's too dark for you. Okay, so just grabbing my powder, loading my brush, taking off any excess, and just carefully patting it on the skin. Now the reason why we pat on the skin rather than brushing on the skin is because you actually want it to absorb on the skin and for it to be firmly pressed onto those areas rather than wiping off all the work that you've just done from side to side. So we're just patting it on and finishing Sal off with a little bit of a bronzer. So bronzers pretty much go basically where we have already highlighted and contoured, just slightly over those areas just to give a little bit of subtle warmth and a bit of a nice radiant shimmer to the skin. And I'll just give Sal a little bit of gloss. Just so that she's not feeling completely naked. Because we didn't do any blush or anything with a lot of colour. So this obviously is just doing your perfect base. From this point onwards, that's when you would go in and do your blush, your eyeshadow colours, and your lip colours. So this will be a very nude, basic, just leave the house in everyday sort of a wear. But that's basically achieving the perfect base. We haven't used any concealer, we haven't needed to, because the skin's already quite hydrated and radiant. We've used products that are going to help conceal any imperfections already as it is. And I just want a very nice natural daytime look. So that is just a flawless perfect base, and something that you could walk out of the house and no one would even know you've got makeup on, although you'd feel comfortable enough wearing it. From this stage on, in the next episode, we will do a little bit more. We'll do some eyeshadows, some tips and tricks on smoky eyes, and we might even go into the nice bold red lip. So see you next time and stay tuned. Oh, and check out below as well and feel free to make any comments. Bye guys.